So these are 5 things that you must avoid if you want to lose butt fat. The first thing you should avoid if you want to lose butt fat is you want to avoid only doing cardio. Now, this is a mistake that I come across all the time when people want to change their physiques. They only do cardio. So they do endless running. They're just on doing cardio. They're on the treadmills. They're running outside and they're not doing anything else. They're not focusing on resistance training. They're not focused on weight training. And that's a huge mistake because if you want to transform your body, you want to transform the chemistry that goes along with it, resistance training is going to make a huge difference. So you definitely want to have a weightlifting routine that helps you to make those changes. And you want to focus on other parts of your body as well. You don't want to just focus on losing your butt. You want to focus on building your muscle in your upper body, focusing on building muscle in your legs as well. So that's all going to be very, very important. The second mistake you must avoid if you want to lose butt fat is you want to avoid eating processed foods. If anything, you don't want to eat any processed foods. The only thing that you might let slip or you might allow is protein shakes. That's the only thing that I would recommend. Other than that, if you look on the label and you're seeing 10, 20 ingredients, then I would avoid it because number one, you don't know how these ingredients are affecting your chemistry. And also with a lot of these foods, which are highly processed, they have a lot of extra calories, they have a lot of fats and things like that, which are processed, which aren't going to be very helpful when you're trying to lose fat, basically, which is what I'm trying to say. So you want to avoid those. So if you can, it's a case of you're preparing the food yourself. So the foods you want to include are foods that you can either grow from the earth, you can hunt, you can fish, you can gather on the ground. These are the foods that you want to be including in your diet. So you've got meat, fish, you've got like nuts and you've got like grains, things like that. So that's what I would go for versus going for things in like packets and things that are highly processed. But look at the ingredients. If it has more than 5, 10 ingredients, then put it down. So the third thing you must avoid is not having enough protein in your diet. Now, protein is essential because protein is what is going to allow you to build the muscle. So when you go to the gym and you work out, especially when it comes to weight training and resistance training, you're actually not building muscle in that time. You're actually breaking down the muscle. So your goal is to rebuild the muscle, and you do that through your nutrition and through your recovery as well. So eating the right foods and also resting adequately. When it comes to protein, you want to be consuming 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight each day. So if you're, let's say, 180 pounds, then you want to be eating 180 grams of protein. Nice and simple. So that can be a bit more of a challenge, but that's where the protein shakes come into play. So if you're having the protein shakes, that will make a big difference. And as I said, protein shakes are processed, but that's the only exception to the rule in terms of allowing processed foods into your diet. The fourth thing you must avoid is focusing too much on your glutes. Now, this channel's been going for maybe a couple of years now, and all I see is comments about, obviously this channel is about glutes, but all I see is, when I speak to people as well, is how they can't get rid of their glutes are too fat, it's just their glutes. And for what worked for me is that I focused on transforming my whole body. For me, my glutes being a problem was just part of the problem. It wasn't everything, because I wanted to transform my body from what I thought was a feminine physique to like an alpha, masculine physique. So it meant not only getting rid of my glutes, it meant growing my chest, my shoulders, getting a 6-pack, growing my legs. It meant the whole lot. So that made a big difference. I know if I fully focused on my glutes, then I don't think that would have worked, because I would have just been targeting one area, and it can be very hard to target just one area. You want to go for a full body transformation. So that means training your whole body, eating the right way, and going for more of a balance versus you just trying to reduce one area. And if that's your goal, maybe you would be best going to, see a plastic surgeon and see what they can do about it, because that's going to be very, very hard to do naturally. Okay, so the fifth thing you must avoid if you want to get rid of your glutes is that you want to avoid skipping leg day. Now, it's going to be essential for you to focus on training legs. This is a big mistake I made. So for my first 3 years, I was just focusing on my upper body primarily and getting that to match my lower body. And this was a huge mistake, because as I progressed and as my upper body got bigger, you started to see a big difference between my upper body and my legs. My upper body was getting developed and my legs stayed where they were. I did this because I always had big glutes, I had big upper thighs, but it got to the point where my lower thighs were lacking, my lower legs were lacking, and you ended up having this kind of lopsided look, this Johnny Bravo physique. And you go from people commenting about your glutes now to commenting that you don't train legs, which was always funny for me. It's like, you know, I've always had these big legs. This is always a problem for me. And now you're commenting that I don't have legs. And like, if you listen to people, you'll never be happy. You always have to be happy within yourself. But, you know, I would listen to people. Maybe that was a mistake on my part, but I always found myself listening to people. And so that was a regret I ended up making. But, you know, with the criticism, you always have something new to work on. So it got to the point where I spent the next 5-10 years or so just working on my legs as well. And it got to the point where I managed to achieve the physique I wanted. So for me, it was always about having a balanced physique, a physique I was happy with. And that's why I'm a big fan of training your whole body as well and not skipping any body parts. So I hope you found this video useful. If you would like help in terms of how I managed to lose my butt fat and how you can do it too, I have 2 free books for you to download. So one is the Alpha Male Body Blueprint, and the second one is How to Lose Butt Fat Fast. So if you're interested, I'm going to leave the link in the description. Go grab that and enjoy it, and I'll catch you on the next one.